One of my first music-oriented top 10 lists, and one of my most successful to date, is Top 20 Worst Band Names, and over 4 years later, I thought I'd do a sequel. So, the bands in the second edition can be of any genre, but the bands have to have had some sort of commercial success in order to qualify, and they have to be actual bands, so no vocal groups or anything like that. Also, I've decided to omit the bands, as otherwise it'd just be too damn easy to make this list. I've got a few honourable mentions, or in this case, horrible mentions, but to avoid stalling time, I'll get them out of the way in a matter of seconds. Foo Fighters, Five Finger Death Punch, The Dandy Warhols, Len, Bare Naked Ladies, Editors, The Wannadies and Toad the Wet Sprocket. Starting the list off is Pop Evil, an American hard rock band with a name that sounds like a jab of pop music. Classy! To be fair, I've heard a few of their songs and they're okay, but the band name is not, and it's bad enough to get them a place on this list. 19 is Elbow. The British band is mainly on here for its randomness and simplicity. Nah, I prefer Knee, you know. Apparently it's inspired by a character in the TV drama The Singing Detective, who says that elbow is the loveliest word in the English language. Sheesh. Although at least they're self-aware of how bad their name is. 18 goes to Coldplay. Now, I may be selling my soul here a bit, as Coldplay are far and away my favourite band on this list, but I always found their name to be a bit awkward. Does Coldplay consist of making snow angels or something? It says a lot when I find their previous name, Starfish, to be better. 17. Vampire Weekend. This name I feel would be pretty cool for a movie title, but for a band, not so much, especially as there's nothing vampiric about their music at all, and while I've never been into them, I've loved A-Punk ever since it was used as the Tidy Up song when I was in year 6. True fact. 16 is ALEXISONFIRE. Is it Alexis on fire or Alex is on fire? Ha ha ha. The confusion is one thing, but I always found that combining sentences into one word things to be painfully edgy. It does suit their screamer style, I'll give them that, but still. Number 15 is the Danish pop band LUKAS. What bothers me about this name is that it's named after the frontman, almost as if it tries to deceive people into thinking it's just one person and that the other guys don't matter. At least with the Dave Clark 5, it's named after the drummer rather than the singer, and the word 5 tells you it's a band. Not with these Danish whingebags. A massive f*** you for torturing me with 7 years a few years back. 14 is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. I first came across Noel's post-Oasis group from, out of all things, a WWE magazine, and assumed there was a joke, but there wasn't, which sucks because their output grew on me big time, with their first 2 albums being pretty solid. They went downhill after that though, so I guess the birds flew too high and melted. 13 is Puddle of Mud, the most try-hard grunge name I can think of. They're a very of-the-time band that we all thought disappeared for good until they dropped an album last year. That and their god-awful cover of About a Girl by Nirvana. But this you, I do have a clue. The 12th spot goes to Garbage. This is one of those obviously band names that are hard to take seriously. According to drummer Butch Vig, who let's not forget produced this album, the name came from a friend of the band who heard one of the band's demos and said, "This sounds like garbage." So very much similar to the origin of the name Daft Punk if you refer to the first list. Number 11 is Bowling for Soup. Now to be fair, I could cut them some slack if they're a pop punk band and most bands of that genre have dumb names, but that would be unfair so they remain on the list. Like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? In for top 10 and first up is the Goo Goo Dolls. This is one of those bands that came up with a name when they weren't expecting to make it big and now regret it. And yeah, I can see why. Especially as their name does not suit their music. 9 is Hot Shell Ray. Truth be told, I've never heard any songs by this band, but I had a friend in year 9 who was obsessed with them, and I hate to judge a book by its cover, but the name alone struck enough fear to be completely put off, and something tells me I ain't missing out. 8 is coincidentally double the number of this band name, as it's 4 Non-Blondes. This one-hit wonder band, and they are okay. Didn't go with 4 brunettes or anything like that, just the clunky abomination 4 Non-Blondes. 7 is Alien Ant Farm. The 4 non-one-hit wonders, contrary to popular belief, have a name that to me feels like 3 words randomly stuck together. Okay, I get there is such a thing as an ant farm, but with alien stuck in front of it, it's quite the eyesore. 6 is Bad Wolves. This probably doesn't sound that bad, but it's so obviously generic and make this metal band feel so manufactured. Well, they're managed by Zoltan Bathory of Five Finger Death Punch, so don't expect a lot from them. And with their fairly crap cover of Zombie, I rest my case. At least vocalist Tommy Vex contributed vocals to WWE superstar Baron Corbin's theme. I'll give him props there. Still, piss poor name. Number 5 is Lovely the Band. Do I even need to explain this one? I hate band names that consist of words joined together. I hate band names with the word band in it. And I hate cheesy band names. But Asa, why is it on this list if you said the bands are disqualified? Hey, it doesn't begin with the, so I'm counting it, okay? 4 is Chunk No Captain Chunk. This is probably the one that sounds the worst when you say it. This is a French easycore band, which is a bad genre name in itself, but the name is apparently taken from a scene in the Goonies. Some say that sentences in band names are always bad, and this probably tops them all. 3 is Limp Bizkit. I came across this band at a pretty young age, blame it to my parents alright, and thought the name was a bit silly but suited their persona in a way. But then I grew older and realised their name is a reference to soggy biscuits. So, yeah. Warning, if you don't know what soggy biscuit means, don't look it up. Just please don't. The runner-up spot goes to the Front Bottoms. This folk and punk inspired band has a name that, truth be told, I don't even need to explain as it's obvious what it means, and it's obviously a stupid name. I'm guessing it was a joke, but that definitely does not excuse its place on this list. And number 1 is HOOBASTANK. This very of the times band are about as generic as one can get. Sound like a Poundland incubus, but with one distinctive trait: their f***ing stupid name. What made them think that would be a good identity? They really thought it would be cool to go under the name HOOBASTANK for the rest of their lives? Well, according to the drummer, it came from lead singer Doug Robb's mispronunciation of a German street name, but the band have also cited other inspirations, so I guess we'll never find the reason they came up with that name.